guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we got episode 31 of the Chris and Tim podcast, and we got our boy Nati from the DMV Sports Zone. How you doing today, Nati?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Of course, we got our boy Chris. Chris wasn't supposed to be here, but something happened, and he is back with us, so we're going to have some fun. How you doing today, Chris?
Doing pretty well. How's things going?
Not too bad. And I just wanted to start this off with a couple things for Nati first. First off, early congrats on 1K. You're right around the corner. You're going to get it within a week or two of the season starting, I'm sure. You're right there. You're going to get monetized. It's going to be fun. Good for you.
Appreciate that.
I also saw your nice interview with Logan Paulson there. That was cool. And I asked Corey the same thing. I was curious. How do you get these kind of guys on the podcast or on the channel?
It's a lot of back and forth on Facebook, LinkedIn, which I don't know if a lot of people still use that out there, but LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, just a lot of back and forth. I'll say the hardest one to get for sure, and I think we talked about this off camera, was the John Kime one back in January. That took like 4 or 5 months of just like back and forth, trying to like reschedule around meetings and stuff, and eventually that got done. But yeah, just a lot of back and forth, honestly.
Well, there you go. Who's next? Can you give us a spoiler? Who's next on the channel?
I'll let you guys guess. And stay guessing until it gets uploaded.
All right, that's fine. We'll
talk about off camera
because who knows? Yeah. I have no clue who's going to be. But all right, I can't get a spoiler out there for you guys. I'm sorry. And the last thing is, how do you know the other three guys there on your channel? Because the other guys, and what are their names? I don't even remember. So just give us their names, and how do you know these guys?
Yeah, so Abdullah, Evan, and Noah. Noah has been putting out content on the channel since almost the beginning, since last summer, really. So he's been on it the longest after me. He focuses on fantasy sports. He has his own like fantasy analytics like platform that he has and stuff, and he's been built over the last couple of years, and it's actually pretty good. Relied on it a lot over the last couple of years, and it's led me to a lot of success. Abdullah met through his channel. He Got Sports, which is still out there, puts out great content, and just a good kid, first year in college. But yeah, met him through his work on YouTube, and also just like DMing him on Twitter and Instagram, and seeing if he wanted to like collab more. Then eventually he became one of the co-hosts on the channel. Evan, sort of the same way. Started with a collab stream. It was a couple months ago. Thought he did really well. I know he's super, super big into the Nats and the Caps, and I felt like we needed more of that content on the channel because it is DMV Sports Zone. It's not like Washington Football Sports Zone or anything like that. So that's how I reached out to him, and eventually he became a co-host. And yeah, the rest is history. Almost at 1,000 subs. Hopefully we continue growing and get to where Tim's at right now, and Jairus, you soon are going to be there as well.
Yeah, I know you got a full schedule with school and everything. You just started school back up?
So I actually haven't started school back up yet. We start in late September. It's a weird system, quarter system.
Okay.
But
so
I've started like my senior thesis.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so
senior, congrats! You're close. You're right there.
Yeah, right there.
What's more important to you right now, graduate or 1K?
Graduation, that for sure. 1K can be reached at any time, man. Graduation is it's a one-time thing, at least for college.
Good answer. Good. You spent too much money on that one to say the other. No, that's fun. All right, I wanted to start this show off with Washington football topics with the spicy Terry McLaurin, not in the top 100. But somehow Cole Beasley makes it. Let's go. Nati, give us your thoughts on that. How disrespectful is that right there?
Can't forget Corey Davis also made it ahead of Terry McLaurin as well. Mr. 980 yards, 5 touchdowns, I believe. Or no, it was like it was less than 10 touchdowns. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, man, I was absolutely disgusted by Terry McLaurin being left off the list. And then disgusted even more by Cole Beasley and Corey Davis being ranked ahead of him. I don't believe Terry McLaurin is a top 5 receiver or even top 7 receiver, but I think he's a top 10 receiver, if not a fringe top 10 receiver. And I think he definitely deserved to make it on the list. I mean, he had over 1,100 yards last year, only 4 touchdowns, but I mean, 4 quarterbacks, right? Last year, Dwayne Haskins, don't get me started on him. Absolutely trash here in DC.
Mhm.
And, also had Alex Smith, who people think is Mr. Consistent. But last year, he was turning over the ball a little bit more than usual, right? He came off that season-ending injury, of course, had that infection, almost died. Didn't really look the same last year. Was really on one leg. And Terry McLaurin was still able to receive targets and still did really well, even with defenses double covering him, sometimes triple covering him. It was a lot. And you could tell every single game, man, if you checked out his interviews and just him on the field without the helmet, he was drenched in sweat every single game. He was working hard. And I just think it's an absolute abomination for him not to be on the top 100.
Go ahead, Chris. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I wanted to ask him a question. So, how high do you think Terry can get?
Can get top 5. Top 5. He's not going to get to 1 or 2 or anything.
Not ever going to get to 1 and 2. Okay.
No. If he was maybe 3 or 4 inches taller.
That on that one, Chris.
Me or?
I don't
no, Chris. No, you answered his question.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have to get 2, 3, 4 inches taller when he can do the same thing those guys do at his height, but it's neither here nor there.
Well, actually, the top 5, there's only 6'1" receivers or shorter. Devontae Adams only 6'1", DeAndre Hopkins only 6'1". Julio, I mean, I guess if you still put a Julio in the top 5, then yes, he's 6'4" or whatever it is. But outside of that, there's mostly just 6'1" or shorter. Stephon Diggs, I think, is only 6 foot, 6'1". But no, I think Antonio Brown is what Terry could be.
Really?
Yeah, and
Hall of Fame. Oh, okay.
Dude, I think that's his ceiling, and I think he could get to the number 1 spot. He's a great route runner. He's got great speed. He's got great hands. He's got great leaping ability to go over and get it over somebody. And Antonio Brown was only 5'11" listed. He was probably more like 5'10", right? So if Antonio Brown can get to that level, I think Terry could. Now, am I predicting? I'm not sure, but I think that's what he could be.
I don't know, Tim. That's one of the best receivers of this generation. Like, I know everybody has seen what's happened off the field for Antonio Brown in the fall. Although I think he will be better this year for the Bucs. He was one of the best receivers of this generation. 1,000-yard seasons after 1,000-yard seasons. I get that he had Big Ben at quarterback, and that's when Big Ben was actually good. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't think Terry's going to get to that point, but I think he's going to be a very good receiver. Potentially could have a career like Stephon Diggs, maybe get to like something like that. But Antonio Brown, I don't know.
He should be higher than Stephon Diggs, right? Stephon Diggs didn't get 1,000 yards till year 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he had the route running and stuff, and last year, of course, he just bursted onto the scene with 1,500 yards and had the best season out of any receiver last year. So I think Terry can get to that point. He just needs consistent quarterback play. And I think Ryan Fitzpatrick, even though he is Fitztragic a lot of the times, I think he peppers his number 1 targets very much. So I think Terry's going to get fit.
Agreed. Any last thoughts on that one, Chris?
Terry made the top 100 on the ESPN's rank. So
what place did he get? I didn't even see it.
73.
Okay.
That's fair.
Where did Chase Young go on that one?
31.
Wow.
That's high for me.
Wow.
That's high for me.
Okay. So
I think 61 is just right.
So they're not looking basically, I guess, more off like stats and stuff. They're actually looking at what they think talent-wise. Because I feel like right now you can't put... Yeah, I guess like projections is kind of the idea. Like what they see as a talent of what they could be. Because I don't think there's any way you could put Chase Young at 31 right now based on what he's done. But, I mean, other than, of course, other than what you could project him to be, I think he's phenomenal. He could be a top 10 player quickly. But, all right, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. We just had the 53-man roster, and I'll start with Nati. What are your overall thoughts of this roster, and how are you feeling about it right now?
It's about time the Peyton Barber was cut, although I saw that we brought him back to the practice squad. I've been saying this since the start, not the end, the start of last season. I did not think this guy was worthy of a roster spot here in DC. He is Mr. 2 yards and a cloud of nothing after that. And yeah, I'm glad that we cut him. He's not on the active roster. Jared Patterson, excited for him. PG County native. I think he has great potential. See a lot of Maurice Jones-Drew comparisons, and I think that's pretty apt for him. Even though Maurice Jones-Drew, I believe, was a second-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, I was surprised by the Jimmy Moreland cut, like a lot of fans out there. Like that, I saw him on the practice squad, though. But I just thought that Jimmy Moreland, I feel like he's shown more than a guy like maybe Darryl Roberts, right, who was brought in the offseason, or maybe Troy Apke, who, while, yes, he's at cornerback now, a whole different position. I mean, has he really shown you anything besides special teams? I don't know. Jimmy Moreland showed me an ability to be a pretty solid nickel cornerback in this league, which I thought was valuable. But they brought him back on the practice squad, and that's all that matters at this point. And, yeah, those are probably the two big takeaways from the 53-man roster. I like that they kept 3 quarterbacks, but I'm still not comfortable with the quarterback situation as is. And, no, I do not want Cam Newton, so don't even ask. But, yeah, so those are pretty much my big takeaways.
Yeah, I'll just say, since you mentioned it, I was going to wait till later, but since you mentioned it, I'll go right to it. As I said, it's open discussion. So, yeah, when Ron was asked about Cam Newton, and it was on his radar, he's like, yep, it's on my radar. But he made a firm statement saying, Ryan Fitzpatrick is our starting quarterback. And then he said, and I also feel really good about where our quarterback position is right now with the other 3 guys, or the 3 guys as a whole. So it does not seem like he has any interest. And he didn't bring him in last year in a quarterback. We needed another quarterback. We didn't bring him in last year. I don't see why he would do the same this year. Chris, what are your thoughts on Cam Newton coming here?
Bro, you know I want him here. You know I want
Here
him
you go. We're already here, Chris. Okay.
You know I want him here.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
Tim coming here at quarterback is better than what we got.
Well, we already knew that.
And I'm dead serious. You put Tim back there at quarterback, we a better football team. I'm tired of this. I know you watched preseason game 2 because I think you broke it down on your channel. Did you see how Brian Fitzpatrick looked in game 2?
No.
You didn't. You did. So you seen how Terry McLaurin was one-on-one cover and he still went to Adam Humphries. You seen that?
Yep.
So anything
I also see that it's preseason.
And that's a problem because it's preseason and you can't see that.
Okay.
And you've been in the league 17 years. It's preseason and you can't see that. That's terrible. And then I know you've seen the Logan Thomas wide open, missed him in the end zone. Adam Humphries wide open, missed him in the end zone. It's our problem last year was we could not do nothing in the red zone, and he's already overshooting people. Yeah. I'd say Cam Newton has had a better preseason than Ryan Fitzpatrick, any of our quarterbacks. I think Cam Newton will be a perfect fit here outside of the fact he's not vaccinated. So that's kind of like a big no for Ron. But I would love to have Cam here outside of it.
Yeah, there's no way. My prediction is he's not going to be here. I don't see there's any way because the main thing is like I don't think we could bring any quarterback in. I don't think we're making any quarterback moves because Ron Rivera made such a big deal of waiting until after the preseason game to announce the starting quarterback, and it's supposed to be a kumbaya moment for the team. And then if he just all of a sudden is like, actually, yeah, all that was bullcrap. I actually don't like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Let's bring in a quarterback to bring in competition, and let's get another starter in here. I think that would be a complete the players will not like that. I think that they would have a negative impression now on him. Where, wait, can I trust you on what you're saying? I don't know, and I think he's completely against that.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any way. But I think that Cam Newton is better than any of the 3 quarterbacks we have today. I think he is better. And that's not saying much. I don't even think Cam Newton's that good. I'm just saying I think he's better than Ryan Fitzpatrick, Cam Newton, or Taylor Heineke, or Kyle Allen. You disagree, Nati?
I hate to say it. I really do because I was a big Cam Newton fan when he's on the Panthers. But I think Fitzpatrick at this point in his career, with him sort of having a Rich Gannon type of resurgence towards the tail end of his career, playing some really good ball, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick right now would be better than Cam Newton. But, yeah, Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen, I definitely think Cam Newton's better. I just think that, again, like, what's the point of bringing in another, like, at best, average quarterback at this point, at this stage in the offseason? I think Ron Rivera right now, I think, again, he's comfortable with the quarterback situation. I'm not, but I don't think Cam Newton is the answer. I don't think he should be brought here to the Washington football team.
All right, I have one thing for you with the Ryan Fitzpatrick, right?
Yeah.
All right, take quarterback out of the discussion. 2020, which roster was better, the Patriots or the Dolphins?
The Dolphins. Yeah,
And when
because
they
of the
went
opt-outs.
face to face, Cam Newton versus Ryan Fitzpatrick, who won?
I believe it was Cam Newton, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly. So
No.
if Cam Newton can beat Ryan Fitzpatrick with a worse
But-
roster,
But Tim, it's not, when it comes to the Patriots, it's not all about the roster, right? Because you got the one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach of all time, and Bill Belichick. You have some infrastructure there that's still left over all those years of winning championships and stuff. So I feel like just much like the Steelers, right? The Steelers last year on offense, right, didn't have the best of offenses when it came to what you see on paper. But they were able to produce, obviously, up until they lost to us, and then everything started went downhill. But like they started 11-0 for a reason. I feel like their offense was doing more than, I guess, the names that you see on a piece of paper. I guess like the names that you see on their roster. So I think when you have the infrastructure there, it's not just all about the roster, right? It's sometimes more about the coaching and the winning attitude, the winning culture that's already been established.
well, I think Brian Flores is a great coach. Obviously, he's not Bill
Yeah.
Belichick. I agree. Nobody's arguing that. But he also has brought a winning culture over there. But they could have tanked for Tua. That was the whole idea, right? Miami's tanking for Tua, and they ended up winning 5 out of their last 10 games, spitting in the face of everybody saying, no, you're losing out on your great quarterback, and then they ended up getting him anyway. And I think he's bringing a lot of good things over there, and I like Brian Flores. But anyway, all right, enough about Cam Newton, because I think we all agree, or maybe Chris doesn't, Cam Newton's not coming in. I think is the
Yeah, I know
overall
you're
thing.
not. I'm just sad, but it is what it is.
And Hawk, the Pats roster last year wasn't better because of the opt-outs. You got to remember that.
Oh, yes. I forgot to completely mention the chat. Thank you for bringing that up. What up, Big Simba? What up, Patrick? What up, Devin? What up, Hank? Redskins Van 10, JK, and Hawk. Uriah's here, too. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us, even with Louis T going live with his whole round table. So thanks for being here. But nonetheless, I'm sure people will watch the VOD, so it's all good. And but no. All right. So that was the Cam Newton situation. You also said you were surprised about the People's Corner being cut. I predicted that he was going to be cut in my 53-man roster prediction. But Chris, you go ahead and take that one away. What did you think about that cornerback cut?
I'm glad he's gone. He should have been gone a long time ago. He's
Glad?
not good. He's not good. Sorry. He's not good. He's not good. I'm so sick and tired of fans see he makes one good play. And oh my gosh, Jimmy Moreland is. Whenever I watch Jimmy Moreland, he's too small. One, he offers nothing else outside of being a slot corner. That's probably one of the reasons he got cut, because he has no positional flex.
What about Darryl Roberts?
You said who?
Darryl Roberts, the guy that they brought over.
To me, he's worse than Jimmy Moreland.
That's my point. That's literally my point.
There.
I'm not saying Jimmy Moreland is a Pro Bowler or a great cornerback. I'm just saying, like,
I'm with you.
why are you keeping one?
Torrey McTyer doing what he did, I'm a big fan now. Yeah. He can play outside, he can play inside. I think personally they probably gonna use Bobby McCain more in the slot. So it's like we really need more than full. And they probably gonna use Cam down there. They probably gonna use Appy maybe here and there. So it's like Jimmy Moreland can't really give me anything else. Darryl Roberts got some flex. They play him outside. So it's like Moreland, he's too small. He doesn't offer me much. So it's probably like, you know what, let him go. Just let him go. I'm glad he gone, because this preseason was horrible, especially his last game. So it's just like, if you can't do good against the 4s and the 3, why do I have you? So I'm happy he gone. I want him to be the first one out, to be real with you.
Yeah, I had
Peyton Barber?
Well,
over Peyton Barber.
Him too. Barber can go too.
He didn't even play in the last preseason game, right? Like, or maybe just got
very little, I think. Oh, he did play. He definitely played, actually. It was Jared Patterson that didn't play much. I think, and then Williams came in and finished the game.
You're right.
Jared Patterson didn't play much. But anyway, as I said, I predicted Jimmy Moreland gone. I think it was purely because of size. You know, like he's just too small to play at the level. You know, I know he has the great attitude, the great work ethic, the play bigger than I am kind of mindset that he has. And it was a great story, local kid. And, he had that phenomenal preseason the first year, and everybody thought, oh, maybe this guy could be a great slot corner for us. But I think he's just too small when you actually get into real games to actually make a real effect. So that's one of the reasons why I had him gone. But Darryl Roberts actually made the team. Ron Rivera talked about this in his press conference because of the last 2 preseason games. He made some plays. He had the tackle for loss of -4 yards. But he basically won the preseason because he would have been gone. I think they just brought him in for a camp body. But the last 2 preseasons apparently were enough to put him over the top. And then as far as Apke, Ron Rivera literally used elite when talking about Apke at the special teams. Like elite. I don't watch special teams that much. I am now going to start turning on the tape for Troy Apke on the as a gunner, and then also on whatever you call it to prevent the gunners from getting there. I don't even remember right now off the top of my head. But apparently he is elite at those positions. And now I got to go watch. But I couldn't believe when I'm like, elite and trap are not in the same sentence at any point.
More elite than DeShazer Everett? Wasn't that DeShazer Everett's role?
He said he was elite, that he is one of the best special teams player in the league. Not just on the team, in the league is what he said.
I think Shays is going to probably get more PT at safety more because we have no safety depth right now. So I think they've we don't want Shays to get hurt too much because Shays do have an injury history. So they probably we're going to just play him at safety and let's give Apke that role because he's just as good. So that's probably what they was thinking.
Apparently he's better. That was
he's faster.
Well, yeah, that's all he's had for years is that ability to have speed, which is important for a gunner. All right, I don't know if you said this. Who was your biggest surprise? Was it Moreland, or did you have somebody else that was the biggest surprise cut on this team?
Yeah, I would say Moreland just because of it was less so because of the preseason, more so because of how he played over the last couple of years, where he was actually pretty solid. And then to see how things just started to unravel over the course of these last couple of games, right? Like originally, I believe Jimmy Moreland was playing more with the 2s, if I'm not mistaken. And then that last game, man, he was playing towards the end of the 4th quarter in a blowout. It tells you all you need to know about his downfall here in DC. I just think it was surprising again because of the fact that he's a known commodity here in DC. He's played pretty well the last couple of years on, at least for last season, a very good defense. So I feel like that would probably be the biggest surprise in terms of cuts.
What about you, Chris? What was your biggest surprise for cuts?
None of them. I told you who was getting cut, and they got cut. None of them.
None of them. Huh?
The biggest surprise, the one that didn't get cut, is DeForest. He should have been gone. Yeah. But it is what it is. He'll be gone. Maybe he take Apke's spot and they cut Apke next year and they try to give him some lame excuse. But he gone next year. You can book that. Nah, I ain't even worried. He's gone. He's not seeing the field.
Yeah. Ron Rivera kind of primed us actually for that Derek Forrest thing because somebody asked him what do you take into consideration when you talk about draft pick of how much more likely are you to keep a draft pick than you are a non-draft pick? And basically he was saying well, to a point, you don't want a guy that you think you could develop to let him go too fast. So I think that's kind of was the prime of, all right, Derek Forrest may not have played well or have been playing well, but you did use a draft pick on him, so let's not cut bait with him too fast. And I think that was kind of his mindset, where complete opposite with AGG. He said, bye, AGG, after one season, right? 4th-round draft pick or not, I don't care. You're out of here. And so I think that was the mindset to keep Derek Forrest, because Derek Forrest was not good. It was bad.
Do you believe that they can develop him?
I believe. Well, they want him to be the next DeShazer Everett.
Yeah.
Maybe they think he's an elite special teams player like Troy Apke. They can't play defense, but they're elite, apparently, because he's also fast. Doesn't he run a sub 4.4?
Put him at kick returner then.
No, they're going to be gunners. They're going to be gunners, and they're going to rush the punter. They're going to try to block the punts.
You could have got him in the 7th round.
Agreed. Undrafted, probably, actually. I think he may have been undrafted. And I'm not even joking. Like, honestly, when I went and watched the Cincinnati tape, there was nothing there that I was thrilled about. Like, I don't even know whoever brought Derek Forrest to the table of guys that we should look at probably should be fired. Honestly, like, I don't know who it was.
He had like I think a couple highlights during OTAs, if I'm not mistaken, and that was about it in terms of the positive things that we heard from him.
Yeah, like, I think that was just a terrible pick from the get-go. Like, I wasn't ready to write it off right away because I didn't know who he was on draft day because I saw his athletic ability. So I was like, by default, I'm not writing off a pick with 4.3 speed. I'm just not going to do it. But when I went and watched the tape afterwards, I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see this great safety that we should have drafted over a guy like Caden Stearns, which is in that ballpark. But anyway, so your biggest surprise was Jimmy. Your biggest surprise was nobody, Chris. My biggest surprise, I think honestly, my biggest surprise was Peyton Barber. I thought they were going to keep 4 backs. They did last year. They kept Bryce Love. And I thought they were going to keep 4 backs. I would not have kept him over Jarrett. I'm just saying I thought they were going to ride with 4 backs. But I guess that was the cut to keep Sammis, I think. I think that was the guy they let go because they really want to try to develop Sammis, and they wanted to keep him. They don't want to let him hit the waivers.
Tim,
Wait.
Go ahead, Nati.
No, I was just going to say, because you brought his name up earlier, AGG. I didn't mention him as in terms of the first guy that I was glad that got cut, but definitely glad that he got cut. I mean, he showed us nothing throughout most of the offseason. He did have a okay game, that third preseason game, but I mean, he dropped that. I can't forget. He dropped that 2-point conversion at the end of the first game, if I'm not mistaken.
First game against the Patriots. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't shown us anything. Last year, he had one good end around run, I believe, against the Browns,
and run, yep.
Yeah, that was a good chunk play, but. Other than that, man,
I could have ran that. I mean, it was free. It was just a wide open field. He didn't do anything special. He just had a wide open field. But yeah, no, I'm with you on the AGG being cut. He had one too many drops. I mean, I think he had like 3 drops this preseason. I mean, it was not good. And one of them he just gave up on the slant. One of them he just gave up on. Similar to Steven Sims. I mean, just one too many drops. Again, another drop on his last preseason game against the Bengals.
That's why I don't understand why they didn't give Kelvo his opportunities. Kelvo don't drop passes, and he gets open on his own. That's why
they cut him. I know why they cut him, and it's all about speed. They talked about it in their press conference.
And AGG got speed.
Well, didn't they cut him?
They kept him over Kelvin.
Yeah, they waited out more on AGG than Kelvin, though.
Well, he was a 4th-round draft pick in Ron Rivera's draft. I mean, Kelvo was not drafted by Ron Rivera. So, I mean, you spent a 4th-round draft pick. I hope you spent a little bit more time on a guy in a 6th-round pick that you never drafted. But nonetheless, I agree. I had Kelvo making the 53-man roster before we started. Okay, so I am not somebody that is happy that we let go of Kelvin Harmon. I thought he brought size to this team that we're really lacking. All we have is Cam Sims right now, but he's a 6'3" body. He has great ability to catch the ball. I'm with you guys.
What?
What?
What do you got?
Great
ability to catch. Did I say that?
Cam Sims.
No, Kelvin Harmon.
Oh, I'm about to say.
Follow the conversation, Chris. Gosh darn it.
No,
Tim, also, because I think this was after Redskins Man 10, I think made this comment after I said it, but about him dropping. No, so I thought the same thing, Redskins Man 10. I thought the refs definitely screwed us over, but I checked one on replay out, and he clearly dropped the ball. Like, you got to check multiple angles of that play. He clearly dropped the ball. It was AGG's fault. I get it. Had the same mentality for literally a day after that game, but then I saw like one replay. I forgot what account tweeted it out, but he clearly dropped the ball.
I agree. I saw the same thing. Somebody sent a picture to the Discord where it looked like he was holding on to it, and then the knees were down. But yeah, exactly. It was not.
I think it just bounced up and into his hands.
Yep.
I thought Leno should have been cut, but that's a story for another day.
What left tackle?
I was fine with Lucas.
All right, then who's the backup?
You got Sadiq. That's what he's for.
Sadiq was worse than Leno. in this
then we got
preseason.
problems.
Well, I agree. We do have problems at the left tackle.
That's why I told you I wanted them to
Never
try to
let
cut
go.
Cosme out over there, but it's too late now.
Yeah, Cosme, I think is doing a solid job. I was pleased with him after the first preseason game when I did my film breakdown. I thought he actually looks pretty solid. And he was a guy that I wasn't necessarily thrilled with. That's all you need, TD. Well, as he said, it's another angle. He didn't have possession when his knee hit. Is the point? But he did come back and catch the other one. But he had more drops than just that. It's like if that was your only drop in preseason, that sucks because everybody's going to remember it. But, okay, maybe we can work around it. Maybe you caught everything else. And it's like, all right, we can try to figure something out. But he had 3 more drops and a give up on a slant, where he just gave up on the play, where I think Heineke was trying to throw it to him. So, yeah, I was not thrilled with AGG's performance. But, yes, they want to get younger and faster. That's the whole idea with this team. They did not like the team speed when he first came in. And that's another thing. And that's actually why going to the defensive line spot, somebody that I had making the team was William Bradley King and over Shaka Toney. Well, that was the opposite. William Bradley King was the only draft pick not kept on this team. Shaka Toney was kept, and Ron Rivera actually talked about this, and basically it's the speed. That was what got him. And I don't think they have any intentions to moving him to linebacker. I don't really think it's position flex. I think it's literally the speed is what got him. But what do you guys think about that move of William Bradley King over Shaka Toney?
I wasn't surprised. A lot of scouts out there said that Shaka Toney was arguably the best defender on that Penn State defense last season because Micah opted out, remember, because of COVID. Okay. So Shaka Toney was the best defender on that defense. So I wasn't surprised when we drafted him. I wasn't surprised that we kept him. I will say this. I was more surprised, even though I predicted that Casey Tuhill would eventually make the roster because of all the media guys out there who said he's going to make it. I did predict it, but it's still crazy to see that our defensive ends, our backup defensive ends right now for Chase Young and Montez Sweat are Casey Tuhill, James Smith-Williams, and
Shaka Toney.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad.
We're one injury away from having to start one of those three. Although if we play the 5-2, we might, maybe we could start 3-4 defensive tackles and then maybe start one defensive end. I don't know if that's a reasonable thing to do, but from what we've heard, 5-2 seems like a possibility for us this year.
Well, Chris likes one of them. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say I don't mind. If Chase Young or Montez Sweat get hurt, James Smith-Williams is
COVID. Don't forget about that.
Maybe. I think James Smith-Williams comes right in and he's just fine. James Smith-Williams, the snap. Tim knows how much I talked about James Smith-Williams all last year when nobody was watching. Every time James Smith-Williams got in the game, he made a play.
He was on him last year for sure.
He made a play. I like James Smith-Williams. In the preseason, he showed me some good stuff. With Cam Newton rolled out. He played contain. Incomplete pass. James Smith-Williams needs more snaps. He couldn't get it because Ryan Kerrigan was there. But now that he's coming in, James Smith-Williams gonna have at least 5 sacks this year.
I don't think he's gonna play enough to get that many.
He would.
I hope not.
Not gonna be out there all day.
I hope you're wrong, because that means that probably one of them got hurt. But at the same time, I hope you're right, and I'm wrong. And nobody got hurt, and he got 5 sacks. That would be huge. If he gets 5 sacks, I mean, that's just... You talk about icing on the cake or cherry on top. I mean, that defensive line is just absolutely nasty. But do you have anything else to say there, Nati?
No.
Okay.
Just not comfortable with it. Not
comfortable with it. I also predicted Casey too well. My problem with Shaka Toney is the size, similar to Jimmy. Too. I just think he's too small.
He looks like a linebacker.
But I guess they're going to bring him in as like a third down guy, maybe third and long, trying to get him in there. But then again, on third and long, I want Chase Young and Montez Sweat, so I don't see that happening. Where I don't know, but I'm glad that William Bradley King was at least on the practice squad. That's good. Last time I'm bringing this up, watched it again. I still think we got screwed.
Watch the side angle. Watch the side angle.
He gone.
I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying.
All right. So we talked about Reeves and Derek Forrest. Well, at least we talked about Derek Forrest. But were you surprised at all that we didn't keep Reeves and instead kept Derek Forrest?
No, they're trying to get younger. Forrest is a draft pick. Although Reeves played pretty well for us last year, ranked really high on PFF. What? At the tail end of last season, he ranked pretty high on PFF, or at least he graded well.
Last year, towards the end, he played good.
Towards the end of the season, yes.
You seen
him?
Why is that?
You seen him in Tampa?
Huh?
Did you see him against Tampa?
Yes, I did.
Did you see him against Carolina?
Yes, I did. Overall, towards the tail end of last season, he graded out pretty high on PFF. He played pretty well. He played pretty well. Obviously, he isn't a great safety, but he played pretty well.
As a backup.
At least for what Ron Rivera asked of him.
Mm-hmm.
But he got cut. I'm not surprised, to answer your question, Tim, because, again, draft pick, trying to go younger. Yeah.
Do you agree that Derek Ford should have been the pick?
Do I agree that he should have been the pick? No, he should not have been the pick.
For that particular position.
No, he should not have been the pick.
Did you have a free
Then
safety
again, we
in mind
don't-
during the draft or no?
Huh?
Did you have a free safety in mind during the draft that you wanted to go get?
During the draft, at that point, no. I mean, we're talking about 5th round pick. Yeah, no.
Gotcha. Okay. We were really high on Caden Stearns, especially at that point. Caden Stearns out of Texas. Apparently he's playing well for Denver.
Yeah, over in Denver, lighting it up at safety,
not
special teams.
Lighting it up at special teams. All right. Let's see here. All right, so William Bradley King, we said, was the only draft pick not to make it. Dax Milne found a way to get on the team as the 7th wide receiver. Do you think we should get rid of DeAndre Carter then? What do you think we should try to keep both of them, or should we just keep one? What do you think about that?
Try to keep as many good special teams players as you can, or potential special teams players. DeAndre Carter, Dax Milne showing some ability, receiving punts, kick returns. Jared Patterson did as well, but I think you got to keep as many good special teams players as you can here in DC.
Who do you think is going to be our starting kickoff return? Because Danny Johnson was our starting, and now he's gone. So who's going to be our starting kickoff return guy?
That's a tough question, Chris. You got an answer?
Carter? He not good for nothing else. We know that. We know
he was okay with the Texans.
I think Dax is going to get some PT on the offense.
Spoiled. Thanks for calling me out, making me all self-conscious.
I think Dax is going to get in on offense more. That's why I said Carter, he ain't touching the field. So the only time he's going to really touch the field is special teams anyway, so you might as well throw him out there. And I want to protect that.
Gets hurt. Yeah.
I think it should be and will be Jarrett Patterson. Jarrett Patterson should be our starting kickoff return man. I like the 37-yard return. Yeah. I think he's a guy that gets downhill. I think he's going to be a hard runner. And he's not going to see the field a lot on offense because Antonio Gibson is going to play majority of the snaps. And then the third down back's JD. It's not JP yet, okay? JP is not on any down right now other than if we're on a long drive and it's first down and Gibson's already ran 5 times, then JP will see the field. He's only getting max 5 carries a game. Max. And I think it's going to be a lot for him, honestly. Because Gibson's going to get a lot.
Yeah. I think he'll get some short yardage work, though. I mean, in terms of being a kick returner, I mean, he did show some ability. I wouldn't be surprised if they put him at that spot. But I do think that he will get some reps on offense. I think he will be able to run the ball. Again, short yardage situations. Obviously, Antonio Gibson, we all know he's a great talent. He's going to excel this year. He's going to build off of his great rookie season. But there's only so much that Antonio Gibson can do. There's only so much that J.D. McKissick can do. I think that Patterson will get a lot of reps on offense this year.
I just disagree. I think that Gibson's going to play a ton. And then J.D. is going to get the second most snaps. I don't think J.P. has earned his way into the second most snaps over J.D. rather.
I think J.D. should be used specifically as go split out wide. And I think we're going to run a lot of 2 running back sets. Curtis is going to be different combinations.
That's another guy that could steal carries is Curtis Samuel. That's right.
But that's why I think Patterson. But you can't. We only got 3 running backs. We're not going to want Patterson to get hurt. So that's probably why you're not going to be on special teams.
We have 4. Curtis Samuel is a running back, and basically that's why we were able to keep 7 wide receivers. Is because it's basically as if we kept 6 wide receivers and 4 running backs.
Curtis Samuel's not running the football. And if he do, Ron Rivera's the idiot. Because
He's been running all his career.
That's our second best receiver right now. He's already injured. No. That's what we got 3 running backs for. Jared Patterson, if he gets hurt, you only got 2 running backs now. So that's why I don't think he won't really see the field on special teams because you need him healthy. Because if Gibson get hurt, who's our running back? JD? We gonna give JD 15 carries?
He literally might be Curtis Samuel. It literally might be Curtis Samuel as our second back actually right now.
No, I got Patterson, man. I just think that
it's Patterson, but I'm just saying, Curtis is not a bad running back.
Why would we be making these comparisons to Maurice Jones-Drew if we did not believe that Jared Patterson had the ability to take over as the second running back on this team? I think McKissick is going to be used as a third down back more than he was last year. Last year he was used as that second back. I would agree with you there, but I think this year his targets are going to go down. Antonio Gibson's targets are going to go up. But again, there's only so much that Antonio Gibson can do on the field, right? He's going to get exhausted. He is a running back. He isn't a quarterback. He's going to get exhausted. He's going to need some breathers. I think Jared Patterson is going to be that guy that backs him up.
I don't see him getting more than 5 carries.
What better guy?
Curtis Samuel is going to get carries on this offense.
Over Jared Patterson? No. Over Jared Patterson, though?
They're going to find so many ways to get Curtis the ball. They're going to run with him all the time. Seriously. He ran, 40 times last year?
I don't want him running 2 times. He's a receiver. Leave him out there. If you want to run him on a reverse,
he's not just a receiver.
See, I'm in the middle. I think he's going to get some carries, but I don't think he's going to be used as much as a running, like in terms of running back, as much as Jared Patterson. I think Jared Patterson is going to get some more carries.
That might be true, but neither of them are going to get a lot. I think it's 5 carries a game max for JP, and that is not enough to say, hey, you also need to be out there on special teams. Be our kick returner.
Let me ask you.
You could be a great weapon there.
Let me ask you this, Tim. Towards the second half of last season, right, when Antonio Gibson firmly entrenched as the number 1 back on this team, Peyton Barber was still getting some carries, right? I feel like Jared Patterson, his role this year is going to be very much like Peyton Barber's last year, where he gets some time on first and second down when Antonio Gibson needs a breather. When we remember last year, we complained a lot about how Peyton Barber was getting too many carries and stuff. I think this year we're not going to complain, even though Jared Patterson gets the same amount of carries, because Jared Patterson will have the ability to break open some chunk plays on the ground, unlike Mr. Peyton Barber, Mr. 2 yards himself last year.
He had a big game against Dallas, though.
Everybody had a big game against Dallas.
Hold on. He had one run. He ran somebody. I think he had like
everybody had a big play against Dallas. Mr. Jalen Smith can't run for his life right now. Leighton Vander Esch, the same. Like everybody had a big game against Dallas. I don't count that. I count it, but I don't.
I still don't want Bob.
Peyton Barber last year averaged 5.8 carries per game. 5.8.
Yeah.
I don't even think JP's going to get that many. Because also, how many times did I
think he's going to get as many.
Because Antonio Gibson got hurt a couple of games down the stretch. So how many carries did he get in those games? So it may have been even less than 5 when AG was in the game.
Yeah, but again, I think he's going to be used as the Peyton Barber type back on this team, and I think he's going to get maybe 5, 6, 7 carries a game. I think that's reasonable for Jared Patterson this year.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing, because I know they want to use the heck out of Antonio Gibson. I know Gibson's going to have a huge role, but we'll see. And to your guys' point, I wouldn't be mad if he got 7, 8, 9 carries. I don't think he's a bad
unlike last year.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be mad. But at the same time, because how big is Jared Patterson? Jared Patterson's what, 5'8", 5'9", 190, 195?
Mm-hmm.
Who would you rather have as your goal line back? That or 6 foot 220 Antonio Gibson?
Gibson. No, I agree with you, Gibson. I mean, he had 11 touchdowns on the ground last year. Some of those touchdowns were chunk plays, like we saw against the Cowboys when everybody was running roughshod against the Cowboys. But some of those plays were just 2-yard, 3-yard touchdowns. So I've been clamoring since literally, week 5, week 6 of last season that Antonio Gibson should be used more as a goal line back. some of that has to do with fantasy football last year and me having him on my team. But a lot of that had to do with seeing Antonio Gibson, seeing his ability, realizing that he has the talent to go for many more touchdowns than he had last year. And then this year, I think Antonio Gibson is going to be used more as the goal line back, right? He's going to get some of the snaps that Peyton Barber got last year. But I think Jared Patterson, again, every running back needs a breather. Like, unless you're maybe a CMC or a Derrick Henry where you're used literally every single play the entire game, every running back needs a breather. I think Jared Patterson is going to give Antonio Gibson a breather. Also have to remember, Tony Gibson was injured last year. He technically still has that turf toe. I just think that Jared Patterson is going to get some more carries this year.
We'll see. All right. We beat that one in. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about on this 53-man roster is something you have to talk about when you're talking about this roster, and that's the linebacker spot. They just cut everybody. All the backups were gone, but now they did put Derek Forrest on IR. They did bring back David Mayo and return for that. So Mayo is now back. But the initial 53, Mayo was gone, Kunizek was gone, Norris was gone, Phillips was gone. All the backups. We kept literally 4 linebackers on the team. What do you think about that, Nati? You think they're going to try to make a move, or you think they're going to be good with the 5 that we have?
First off, Tim breaking some news on the stream, at least for me. I didn't know that. But linebackers, man, I mean, much like the guys behind Chase Young and Montez Sweat, the guys behind Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb, and I'll even say John Bostic, they're meh. They weren't good. They didn't play well at that last preseason game. That's a big reason why Ron Rivera decided to cut all of them. Mm-hmm. I think the guy that Washington should go after, who's been on the market for the entire offseason, who I've been wanting since, I don't know, maybe March of this year, is KJ Wright. Number 67, NFL top 100. I get it. Can't trust the top 100 list. We just talked about Terry McLaurin being off of it. I get that. But that shows you the amount of respect that the players have for him. And he was pretty good last year, right? KJ Wright, he's not the linebacker that he was in his prime. I'll give you that. But he's also, 30, 31 years old? He's not that old. He still has some ability left, and I think he would be great here. Imagine KJ Wright, Cole Holcomb, Jamin Davis as your starting linebacker group come week 1, come week 2, whenever he gets signed. That's much better than John Bostic being one of the starting linebackers. You guys know how I feel about John Bostic. I think he's a backup linebacker at best on a good defense. He should not be getting starting reps. Even Louis T said the same.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Chris.
I don't think he's a linebacker, period. For real.
Corey's his head is gonna spin at that. But yeah.
Throw me more special teams.
I don't know about that. I mean, he's old now. He can't be on older.
I'm all on board with KJ Wright. I really am. And I agree, because also the Super Bowl winning experience that he has, is where I think he'd be a great guy to bring in to lead, especially a young Jamin Davis, a still growing Cole Holcomb, and then the rest of the linebacking group, whatever. Khaleke Hudson, maybe Khaleke Hudson could be a guy that turns into something that's actually somewhat decent. I'm for that. That's fine. A couple other names I just wanted to throw out there, because first of all, he wants youth and speed, right? Is there any reason to go look at the one-hand wonder Shaquem Griffin, who ran a sub 4.4 on his pro day, linebacker from Seattle, then he moved over to the Dolphins. They cut him. He's on the practice squad right now. Yeah. Should we look at maybe going to get a speedster like that?
I think we need all the help we can get at linebacker right now. So I'm all for a lot of the options out there. KJ Wright, Shaquem Griffin. I mean, I saw Benardic McKinney. I feel like I'm butchering his first name. He's out there as someone that we're interested in. I don't know, man. I've heard he's an improved John Bostic, so there's that. But again, I think we need all the help we can get at linebacker. We've needed all the help we could get at linebacker for the last, seems like forever now on this team. I'm all for it. To answer your question.
I'm not sold on Antonio Gibson. Interesting, Reggie. Interesting. All right.
Well, Chris thinks he's more talented than CMC.
I think he's
opposite ends of the spectrum.
That's what I see.
As talented.
As talented. Oh, that's okay.
Either
a little bit better.
All right. The last linebacker, Chris, I don't know if you have an opinion on this either. Actually, I'll start with you if you have one. Avery Williamson. Is this a guy that we should maybe go look
No, heck no. He's horrible. I watched him because I think some fans was wanting him last year. No. Is he a free agent?
Yes.
Is a reason. No.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about KJ, right? Then, I guess.
Good. We know what KJ's a champion. We know what he represents. Playing an all-time great defense.
I know why he's not signed yet. We'll go to that in a second.
Did he play for who he played for last year? Williams. Who else he played for?
He played for the Jets, and I think didn't he play for like Pittsburgh or something?
Oh, the Jets cut you.
Who did he play
If
for?
the Jets cut you, no. The Jets cut you. I'm good.
The Steelers last year. He played for the
And
Steelers.
oh my. He was horrible. You know how slow he is? We already got Bostic and he's slow.
He's 4'6".
And you know John Bostic played for the Steelers too.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
Yeah, so maybe we shouldn't go get those. All right. I just want to throw a couple other names out there because everybody's talking about KJ Wright. I want KJ Wright as well. I made a video on this, I think, before the draft that I wanted to go get KJ Wright. So I'm on board with that with you guys. But the reason KJ Wright is not signed is somebody brought this up on Protext. Was it Corey? Corey may have brought it up. Is he wants too much money.
At this point in the offseason, though, he's not going to get it. So I feel like
he's 67 on the top 100. He probably just thinks he deserves 10+ million. I mean, look at J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt got 15.
He lost
15.5. So I think he's holding out until somebody loses a linebacker, gets desperate, and wants to spend a bunch of money on him. I want to sign him to a 1-year deal. Obviously, the cheapest we can get him is the better. But at this point, our linebacker room is so bad because I don't think Jamin is ready yet. I think he can still grow. I mean, he still has room to grow, but I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's attacks enough in the run game. I don't think he's knows the defense well enough yet. I think he's still a work in progress, personally. And I think we should probably actually throw some money at this guy. $9-10 million at KJ
on a 1-year deal. Yeah.
On a 1-year deal is actually not something that I'm completely against thinking about this. I think we have like 16 mil.
Well, no.
Over cap.
I'm good. I'm not giving 10 million up.
For this year? For 1 year? Why not? Who are we going to get?
Ask Ryan Fitzpatrick take a pay cut and use that money.
A pay cut when he's getting paid $10 million? He's arguably
starting quarterback.
I need to shave all 5. Shave all 5. Oh, I need that 16 to go in the next year.
Yeah, we have almost 17 million, so $16.8 million this year.
More than
unless you can put it in incentives.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe sign him with a base salary of $4 million, and then give him incentives up to $10 million. That could be a good contract. That's a great idea there, Chris. For 1 in a row. I mean, what? It's like no, I'm just kidding with you there. For sure. All right, I know Nati is a little short on time. I think we only have 6 minutes left. You got to get rolling. All right, so a couple other things that I wanted to touch on. We pretty much got everything on the 53-man roster. So, all right, so the last couple of things. I wanted a season prediction from everybody. I know we just gave ours on Protext channel, but do you want to start there, Nati? You want somebody else to start?
All right, let's start with Chris. Let's start with Chris. Get it out of the way. Chris, go.
What is your season prediction there, Chris?
Listen, I got us at 11-6.
Oh my God.
Got us at 11-6. I'm giving us the benefit of the doubt. Because we didn't have
about how bad we were in the preseason.
And you read my comments when I commented under your video. I said I was gonna give us one more chance because I gotta see Curtis with the team, and I'm gonna give Ron the benefit of the doubt. He said my impression was antsy, etc. 11-6, but I think our floor is 3-14.
Floor is 3-14, and we're gonna be 11-6.
What is that range? Three and.
Well, I had a bigger range on my high or low.
When you think about I think about floor, I think about things that just possibly just went entirely wrong. That means Chase Young got hurt, Terry got hurt. When I think about ceiling, Jamin is what he is. Fitzpatrick don't turn the football over. That's what I'm thinking when I'm considering ceiling. So that's all things.
All right, so your prediction though is 11-6.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
11-6, 10-7.
All right, you want me to go next?
I just think
go
Western
ahead.
Hop is going to cost us 2-3 games.
They already know ours anyway, so that's a good idea. Because if you were on ProText stream, all right. So we did this on ProText. I kind of like the idea. Is what's your ceiling, what's your floor, and what's your actual prediction? And my ceiling is 12-5. I think there's 12 winnable games on this schedule. I think there's 5 games that we pretty much don't have a chance in. That's my opinion. But so 12-5 is our ceiling, and our floor I think is 3-14. I think there's 14 losable games on this schedule, and that's our floor. But my prediction is 9-8. I think we're going to end up 9-8. We're going to miss the playoffs on the last game of the season. I think we're going to lose to the Giants, and that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick does, is miss the playoffs in a just horrible fashion. And I think that's what we're going to end up doing, is going 9-8 on our team. So, all right, Nati, drum roll. Just kidding. Go for it.
No, I am right there with you, Tim, in terms of the prediction. 9-8. See us going 8-9, but 9-8 was my prediction before the preseason. Pretty much sticking to it. I think they're going to be 2 wins better than last year. But my range, though, I think the ceiling is 11-6 and the floor is 6-11. I think they'll find their ways somewhere in that range. I think 9 wins is a good bet because I think there are some winnable games on the schedule, and I think they will be slightly better than they were last year, at least when it comes to their win-loss record. I just don't think I don't think 11-6, 12-5. I just don't think those records are reasonable right now. When you got a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you ended it all.
Are you revising your prediction?
But the thing is, I think we all got to. No, I'm not revising. But I think we're all making the assumption that Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing the season. Well, we all know he's not. We all pretty. History shows he's never plays the full season. So,
okay, but then who?
I mean,
we got backups, and who are the backups?
Yeah, and that's why I would say, because I believe a little bit in Heineke, a little bit. I believe in a little bit. Fitzpatrick and Kyle Allen, I cannot do it. Let's believe in the players believe in Heineke. Why wouldn't I? So I mean, but like I said,
so 9-8. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
But I think the problem is going to be Dustin Hopkins. I think we're going to be in every game, but he is going to screw it up by missing field goal after field.
That's why we're going 9-8.
3 games last year. So it's like, come on, bro. It'd be a game like I got us beating the Chiefs this year. You can at me on that. It'll be a game like that where Dustin Hopkins just misses the field. Misses a field, and it's just like, boy. And Ron Rivera's going to keep him just like he did last year.
Go ahead.
Okay, Chris. It's one thing to realize that, yes, upsets can happen. Washington can beat the Chiefs. Washington can beat the Bills. Washington can beat these teams. It's another thing to outright predict that this is going to happen months before we've even seen the 2 teams line up on the field. Although we've seen Washington in the preseason, and they haven't been good. Their first-team offense has been atrocious. And you still got them going 11-6 and beating the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl, the AFC champions from last year, and Super Bowl contenders for this year once again.
Ask Tim what was my prediction last year.
14-3?
No.
Mine was 7-9.
Not the record prediction. I'm talking about when we went over we was in the middle of the season. I told you the games I told you, and you was like, you hope I'm right. And didn't I say we were gonna be the first team to beat the Steelers? Yes or no?
Yep.
We're gonna beat the Chiefs.
You're escaping the fact that you just said you predicted what? How many wins last year?
11. I didn't make a prediction last year.
Okay, how many wins did you think we were going to win before the season?
This year, I have 11-6, 10-7.
Last year.
I didn't really have a record last year.
But
I didn't predict a record.
He didn't even have a YouTube channel. Like, he didn't have, like...
No, I know. Not, like, officially, but I thought you said a number that you thought we were going to win, like, in terms of games last year. But never mind. I guess I was wrong.
No. He was just saying, like, when he was on he used to be a commenter on my channel. And he was saying, like, he was just saying that he would say things like, we're down the stretch, we're going to win these games, is what he was saying in this. He didn't have a record prediction overall. Honestly, I made a record prediction, I think, but I don't remember what it was. I really don't remember. I don't think it was 7-9.
Oh, I remember what it was.
What was my record prediction? I don't even remember what it was.
13-3.
Oh, That was my
No way.
with rose-colored glasses.
God.
That's why after AP said I think we could flip our record from a year ago, and so I made a video. It's actually a pretty funny video, especially the predictions I was making. Did you ever see that one, Nati?
Yeah, I saw. I didn't see the 13-3 one, but I saw your earlier videos. Yeah.
Well, there was one that it's actually even funnier to go back and watch it now with some of the predictions. I said Fabian Moreau was gonna shut down D Hop. I said what did I say? Who's the linebacker?
Deion Hamilton.
Deion Hamilton was gonna have 12 tackles against the Giants. I don't think he had 12 tackles all year. The whole point of the video though was to be ridiculous and like to go to the next level. So it was, and I think I said Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis were gonna both have 100 yards each in the last game against the Eagles, and neither of them made the 53. It was that hysterical. It was a great video. We went back and watched it on my channel, and I was literally losing it. Like it's pretty. I should have done one. Shoot, I may need to still do one.
You still got time too.
Yeah, I might need to do that in the next couple of weeks of a ridiculous record prediction, like a 14-3 record or 15-2.
And here's
so when we beat the so when we beat the Chiefs, what you gonna say to me?
Like I said, upsets happen. It's another thing to expect that's going to happen. You predicted it months ahead of time.
So when
I'll give you credit, okay, but I'm not going to give you too much credit because at the time of the prediction today, it seems like a not so great prediction. That's what I'm saying.
There you go. All right.
There's no reason to believe that. Sorry, good.
No, you're good. The last thing I wanted to get you before we roll is early thoughts on Week 1 matchup. And also the question of, do you think Justin Herbert's going to improve this year or have a sophomore slump? Those are the last things.
Yep. I think Justin Herbert's going to improve. Some people think he's going to regress. I don't think Justin Herbert's that type of quarterback. I think he's going to improve. Chargers, I think Washington fans are selling them way too short. I think the Chargers are going to be a very good team. They're good on paper, of course, but they have some very good players on that defense. Derwin James is going to be back. Joey Bosa, of course, is on that defensive line. Obviously, on offense, they have Austin Eckler, who is a super underrated running back in this league. They have Keenan Allen as well. Yes, Chris, he is. They have Keenan Allen as well. And I think the Chargers are going to be a threat this year. And I think us Washington fans, I think, again, we're selling them short. I think the Chargers have a good shot of winning. I won't make my prediction right now, but I think, again, Chargers have a good shot of winning. We have a good shot of winning, but let's not sell the Chargers short. That's what I'm going to end with.
You think we should be favored in that game at home?
We're home?
At home?
I think we are. My uncle said yes.
I feel like we should because it's at home. But if it was away, then I would have gone with the Chargers.
So like 1 point favorites, like 1.5 point favorites?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, super close.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much for being on the channel here, Nati. It was fun.
Yeah,
I know you had me on the channel. I tried to get you on the channel before the preseason, but my man was way too busy for me. Absolutely not. No, just kidding. It was fun. But no, thanks for coming on, and thanks, Chris, for hanging out with us. I know that you weren't supposed to be here, but you showed up anyway, like the GOAT Chris is. But no, it was fun. Go ahead and shout yourself out one more time there, Nati.
Yeah, so, Nati, DMV Sports Zone. Make sure you guys go sub us up. Great content. Tim talked about it at the beginning of the stream. Thank you so much, Tim, for allowing me to take part in this stream tonight. Chris, we disagree a lot, but I do respect you for coming on and for your hot takes because they are hot takes. But yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Yep, links in the description as well. He's always right 35% of the time. No,
yes, I love that from last time. I love that. Yep.
Links in the description there for the DMV Sports Zone. Go hit him up. But yes, thank you, and until next time. See ya!